Oh, excuse me. What's going on, guys? The king is back. The king is back. How are you guys doing? It's I, KingSithis. KingSithis. Oh, what the f... All right, there we go. Everything's connected. Oh, hey, we got a new person that just joined in. What's going on?
Hello, sir.
I am KingSithis, anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Oh, whoa. I'm not really into politics, but I'm really really nice to meet you. I'm a little high.
Me too.
So, oh damn, nice. We're friends then. We're best friends forever.
Yeah, legalize drugs.
Yeah, no, for real, right?
Exactly.
I mean, caffeine is a drug, and that shit's sold everywhere.
Exactly, man. I can't live without caffeine. It keeps me going. Really good for my productivity, you know.
I think it's worse than weed.
I don't think it's that bad.
Come on, one joint a day versus one large Starbucks frappe every morning. Which is worse? Be honest.
Well, I don't think it's the caffeine. I think it's all that sugar that's in the coffee that you probably put.
Okay,
That's not
fine.
good for you.
Let's take just caffeine packets you swallow every single morning. You have to take caffeine 100 milligrams every single morning versus one joint. Which is worse? Be honest.
I don't know. Actually, probably
It's
the caffeine.
It's
Probably
gonna
the
mess up with your
caffeine is
sleep.
probably worse.
It's gonna mess with your sleep, bro.
Yeah, but it's
there's
good for
drugs-
productivity, you know. Sometimes you have to risk it for the biscuit.
To be a good goyim, come on, man. No.
you gotta pay the bill
Come on.
somehow, right? What's up?
I mean,
What's
it
up?
helps. It helps make the time go by. I guess you're right. Caffeine.
Keeps me awake, and then I just keep working, and I'm just don't stop
good
until I
boredom.
drop. You know, until I shit my
I guess
pants.
you're right. You know, I love Coca-Cola when I'm tired. You know, it just gets you going, man. It's the caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine is just a perfect way to, you know, boost your productivity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than cocaine. You know, there are people out here doing cocaine and meth
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
in order
I've seen that
to
firsthand.
stimulate themselves, you know. There are people that smoke meth in order to keep going for like 12 hours straight. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, what losers? Oh,
Yeah. I could handle it. I'll just microdose it. I can handle my dosage. I won't get addicted.
microdose cocaine. That's the new wave.
Yes. What's up, nihilism? It is I, KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
How old are you?
What?
How old are you?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Uh-oh, red flag.
You don't know how old you are?
I'm an artist. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It does for us,
Well, I
girlfriend.
mean, yeah, shit, fuck.
But I'm an artist.
A nihilist? What's that? Is that
Yeah.
Anne Frank in your bio?
Yeah.
Wait, you're a he, him?
I mean, no.
Do you identify
Yeah.
as a he, him, or were you born that way?
No, I was born this way.
Okay, got you. Anyways, do you know what anarcho-capitalism is?
No.
Oh, do you want to learn about it?
Wait, I think it's
Sure.
a society without any government, kind of, right?
No state, capital, and with full capitalism.
Yeah, I think I remember talking to you or some shit. One of you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of us that sometimes come in here. But
Yeah.
I'm the one that kind of
Pretty
runs this
popular.
room. Yeah, I mean, I only have 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I guess.
Oh, nice. Damn, that's actually popular. I would consider that popular.
Cool.
Not trending, but you're
You know,
up
I'm getting there. Getting there. Yeah, so I basically just, I mean, you're on my channel right now, actually. I mean, I've been live
Oh,
streaming.
nice.
Yeah, it says Anarcho Capitalist Live. Talk to AnCaps. But yeah, anarcho-capitalism, the free exchange of goods. Well, capitalism is the free exchange of goods and services between private property owners. You know, anarchy is without rulers. It is without, nobody has any more of a more rights than any other person. Everybody is equal. Like politicians, they act like they have a better right to our money than we do, which is bullshit. I did not ask for their services. I did not.
The flock cameras too.
Yeah, these flock cameras.
That's just
Wait,
one
what do those
example.
things even do? I don't. I keep hearing about that, but I'll be honest. I don't even know what a flock camera even is.
It tracks you really easily, and it's very widespread. Like the average cop can just look at your license plate and see where you've been, where you've gone. It's all AI too, so like,
Yeah.
it's very well.
The thing about these cameras, bro, is it'll make it easier for them to catch bad guys, but at the same time, they could use it to fuck with people really easily, or lie about people. Like I seen this one video, where this woman, they said, "Oh, we got you on video, like stealing," and the woman never stole anything. It was just another woman that looked like her, so she had to like show her own video to prove that she was somewhere else at the time of the crime. You know what I mean? Which is kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Total bullshit. No?
Yeah. Oh.
His name was No.
I muted him too on my channel. He was something else.
Oh.
Well, I think he's a pedophile. Like, to be like, I swear to God. I can say that allegation because we were talking about love, and he asked me what I think about it, and I said I think love is gravity, and he's like, "Oh, that's stupid as fuck." When you were a kid, did you gravitate your love from a children or something like that? And I'm like, and I told him to elaborate, and then that's when he got emotional and started getting off the rails.
Yeah,
Literally,
bro.
that's what happened. And then I had to mute him to like tell him like, "Yo, calm down, calm." And then he just, I don't know. It's weird talking. These people are really weird.
Yeah, a lot of the people that join in this Discord can be a little odd. But
Yeah. When you start talking about people's beliefs, you're hitting nerves, you're hitting emotions, you're hitting the amygdala, you know?
they're like pissing people off.
No, it's just talking about their beliefs. That's it. That's what people can't have their worldview shattered. It's, it takes balls.
I think more and more people are growing to anarchy and capitalism, which is really cool. Like, I bought a car today, and
you're right.
I was talking to the guy at the dealership today about it. Well, thank you, Biker Vince. Appreciate the follow.
Yeah, well, I think atheism is the next step for humans. I mean,
Atheism?
at some point, atheists are going to have they're going to be more logical than religious people. Like, religious people just believe in like blind faith and like fairy tales. And like, imagine some alien or something coming from the sky, and they're like, "Oh, it's the second coming! It's the second coming!" At some point, people are going to look at them and be like, "Come on, guys, let's actually look at what it is, and let's go to space and study. Like, stop getting on your knees."
Well, I mean,
Like,
who's to say that
you
God
know-
didn't create the aliens? He just forgot to put that
I
part
mean,
in the Bible.
at some point, we're gonna look at other people for for an opinion.
I mean, religion is just kind of a way for people to explain things when they didn't have any way to explain it.
With using blind faith, and that's what's stupid. That's what should be ridiculed. That's what should be made fun of. Call people names for that. Because come on, I think we're all ahead at this point. Come on, as a human society, as a human race, come on, can we move on from this fairy tale bullshit of hell and
Well, actually,
and heaven?
I'm a pagan.
Whoa,
I believe in Norse mythology, bro.
like the sun being God? I don't know.
Nah, bro, I
right?
believe in like Thor and Odin and Freya
Oh, yeah.
and Loki and Boldar and yeah.
No, but no, there's truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that. I mean, I like studying various religions, and that's a religion with what's his name?
It's the old gods.
Thor. Yeah, Thor, like the lightning gods from the Roman times.
Yeah, that's North mythology. North mythology was the Swedish people, Norway,
Oh.
Sweden. Yeah.
Damn. No, man.
That's what that's what England was before Rome kind of came in and kind of made them more Catholic.
Like forcingly, right?
I mean, I don't know. Some people say it was forced, some people say it was otherwise. I don't know.
Well, I love that mythology. I mean, which one is your main god that you would say that you worship?
Odin, the All-Father.
Yes, Odin. Yeah, Odin. I remember that one. Yeah. Odin is the father of Thor, right?
Yeah. He seeks wisdom at all costs.
Man.
My hairline is looking really
into
good. I've been taking some finasteride and been taking
drug?
yeah, bro, and I've been taking doing this shampoo that is called what they call Spartan shampoo. It's meant to regrow your beard and your hair. And my beard is still a little bit, not fully full-in, but it's like more full than it was before, which is pretty good.
You want to know the secret?
Jump off a bridge.
Spartans would spar outside and get a tan at the same time. That's why they're called Spartans. But they would eat raw eggs.
I'm pretty sure they were Spartans. The spear.
Yeah, that too. You're right.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Raw eggs, man. Raw eggs. I need to eat more raw eggs. It's literally how you reverse time.
I had to smack a cockroach, bro.
Ugh.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes these cockroaches, they like get in my fucking apartment, bro, and they fucking they're annoying. It's not all the time, but once in a while, like once in a while I'll see a cockroach or a spider, because I kind of live in the woods.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
Yesterday I saw a big ass spider, bro, in my like crawling on my wall. I had to like grab a broom because it was like way too high up. It was too high up for me to like use my sandal, so I used a broom. And
the bugs by a forest are completely different.
And it was a big fucking spider. It was like the size of a quarter. Like it was a You know what I mean? It was like some long legs. Yeah, like it was a big motherfucker. And so I just like I grabbed my broom and I just swung at it. And when I swung at it, its legs fell off. Like a few of its legs fell off, and then it fell down. And then I just stomped on it.
Oh.
You are disgusting. That is so cruel.
What am I supposed to do? It was trespassing in my house.
Yeah.
That spider had a life. And you just killed it.
Get out of here.
Well, what hell to a fly is paradise to the spider.
Yeah, who cares? Let him die.
Right. Yeah. To him, it's heaven. To the spider, it's hell. Who's right? Who's wrong?
I guess we'll die. We'll know when we're dead.
Oh, great.
How am I gonna get to Valhalla, bro? I'm not gonna die. Battle. Ooh, excuse me. I'm not gonna die in battle. Fuck.
Why do you sneeze like that?
Like what?
Like Bahoo.
What am I supposed to do? Not sneeze like that? It's just how I sneeze, man. I don't know.
I disagree, to be honest.
Disagree? Okay. Okay, bro.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think you should be killing spiders because the spider had a life and a family.
Oh, what?
So what am I supposed to just let it eat me? Or let it attack?
Spiders do not eat you.
They can bite me.
Okay.
There you go. Am I supposed to let an aggressive species in my house?
The spider did not give a fuck when it was killing all those flies.
I'm not gonna let it out for it to come back in.
Life eats life.
Are you guys atheists?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. I mean,
Who's
no, we're Nordic. We believe in North mythology.
I know God is real.
Is real?
Yep, is real light.
Israelite? You're an Israelite?
We are all Israelites. We are all made of light.
What?
We're made of stardust. We're made of stars. We're built to conquer the stars.
I would disagree, to be honest.
Well, some people live to eat, and other people eat to live. That's your choice.
I live to eat.
I eat to live.
I love eating.
Yeah,
we can tell.
It can be addicting, and it just lets you do nothing.
It's why I'm so fat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
You don't have to be fat.
Yeah, no, you're fat.
There's skinny fat too, which is even more dangerous.
There's no such thing as skinny fat. They both contradict each other.
I'm talking about the fat around your organs, the visceral fat. That's what I'm talking about.
That means that when you're skinny in your arms, but in your legs, but you have a bunch of stomach fat.
Around your organs, any organ, yeah.
What?
Like a beer belly.
That's skinny fat. That's possible for everyone. And
skinny fat is just a contradiction.
That's a real thing.
You're a contradiction.
And,
no, that's just going to be a lot of...
You can choose to ignore it, but it's real.
One atheist versus 20 gods.
You know, eat to live, live to eat. Your choice.
Live to eat or eat to live?
Yep.
Eat to live.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to eat and use that energy for your creation, for what you want in life, right? And not just...
I muted that person.
Eat. Oh.
Valenci. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
I am KingSithis. I am KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian.
KingSithis?
Yes.
Is that from the Elder Scrolls?
Yes.
Fuck. Pretty cool guy.
What do you know about anarcho-capitalism?
What do I know about it?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like a free market-based economic system without any government intervention.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Holy shit.
Me and John here are anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I used to be like a minarchist back when I was like 15, but then I became more of a statist due to my job. I started working for the government, so now I gotta represent.
So you abandoned your principles.
The money got.
Well, I just didn't find them. Find them that convincing anymore.
Yep, for money.
Yeah, you abandoned your principles for money.
Interesting.
Yes.
Listen, I mean, I guess I'm still a
paycheck from the
libertarian.
state.
I guess I'm still a libertarian at heart. If I do that, it's fine.
I don't think it's fine.
Nah, but
it's not fine.
Wow. Guess I gotta kill myself.
No.
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
What? If you kill yourself, you proved everyone right.
Hello, Eldian
Whoa.
supremacist. It is I, KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. It is nice to meet you. And hello, Mr. Clean.
Hello.
I am the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you, bro.
What you guys heard
Love
of
the energy.
anarcho-capitalism in here? You know anything about it?
Nah, I don't. Oh, you're asking Mr. Clean?
Yeah.
Well, taxation is theft. It is a forceful extraction of wealth by the government. And because of that, us libertarians, we believe in, replacing the state or the functions of the state with privatization and, voluntary interactions.
Amen.
Which would be some sort of privatization. Also, I'm
Hell
live
yeah.
streaming.
Oh no.
Rothbard was the one who kind of put a name to the idea. He was a student of Mises.
Wow. The
And they
error
conf-
messages in my programming language compiled.
What do you guys think about Hans Hermann Hoppe?
I love Hans Hermann Hoppe.
Base or cringe?
I think he's pretty base.
Based
I mean,
cringe.
not everything that he says is base.
Base
I
or
mean,
cringe?
he's pretty border. He likes closed borders, but
Well, that's one thing. That's
Hello
one
to
thing
you,
I
it
like
is
about him.
KingSithis. I am KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. It's
He
nice to meet you.
is King Seth. King
Yeah, what's up?
Seth.
So you are the king of this channel.
Huh?
King Seth.
Yes, I am the king of this channel. Yes.
He is the king.
I am. It is I, KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Do you have
Yes,
sermons?
yes, that's the man.
We are very polite individuals, gentlemen in this room. Hope.
Yeah, dude, I love this
Right.
guy.
Let's keep it that way.
This guy
What if
turns
I'm
me
not?
on, guys.
What if I'm not?
Whoa. Look,
Whoa.
being gay is natural, but keep it over there.
Whoa.
Oh, only on the weekends, all right. I'm not gay. I have relationships
Yeah,
with
dude.
women, but
Nobody's
sex
really
with
gay.
men.
Like, let's be real, guys. Gays aren't real. They're only in our heads, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gay. My boyfriend's the gay one.
Sometimes you gotta tell the little gay man in your head to sit down, you know?
Oh my god, they all left. Anyways,
So, like,
we need
I'm
to
building
legalize
a new
all drugs
programming language.
and prostitution and completely open the borders.
I'm building a new programming language. I'm writing in it right now. It's called Axiom. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds boring.
That sounds boring.
Oh, it's not boring, guys. I mean, it's not boring.
Sounds like work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun for me. I mean, it's work for some people. Fun for me. But yeah, right now I'm just testing that my compiler actually works the way I expect it to.
Sounds pretty clean.
It is clean, bro. Look how clean this code is, bro. Look at how elegant the syntax is for my language. It's just so clean.
I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
I'll just tell
This
AI
looks
to
like a bunch of
just tell me
letters
what
and
to do.
numbers.
Well, so I'll explain it to you, right? So the top statement, right, is a foreign function
no.
interface.
Oh God!
Right,
Please,
so-
please, 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 please,
No.
spare
So it
me.
allows us
Spare me.
to escape our
Oh.
environment, right?
Nope, I don't want to know this.
Okay, I don't
functions
care.
from
I
the
don't
available
care. I don't
state,
care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't
Bro.
care.
My storage is too
I mean,
large.
I'm sure you
to
don't
make it
care.
happen.
I'm also sure you don't understand what I'm talking about. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe you should shut up.
Yeah, please.
yeah, we'll shut up, dude. I'll go talk to people who aren't mongoloids. You know, you autistic Jews.
Wait, is that who I think that is? Wait, LD, and say something.
Hey, what's up?
Is that AnCap Doggo?
Little bitch.
Sorry, gotcha. It's all good.
That's your boy.
Yeah, it's my friend.
Well, he's my friend now.
He's a cool guy. You should follow him on TikTok.
How many accounts does he have?
I don't know how many accounts he has. He has a lot. This guy. Or he probably just changes the name. I'm pretty sure you could do that.
I have
right?
6 accounts if you're wondering.
6? Oh my lord. My chat was wondering. I thought it was kind of funny. You're like, you try to like lower your voice to try to. You're like, oh. There's no escape. Anyways.
Look, you can just like recognize me just like off the point.
Yeah.
And there was like one word I said too.
We just I mean hang out with you too much. Yes. Let's hope some people come in here. I mean, most of the time people, I mean, like today has been pretty like agreeable. Like everybody's been coming in here and like agreeing with me, and I haven't really gotten much pushback.
Well, I'm fixing a lot of stuff here, man. I'm sweeping the bad ones away.
You know, a lot of times people come in here and they'll yell at me like, "Oh, capitalism is a real communism."
That's what I do every day here.
Grim is mall.
It ain't much, but it's honest work, man.
Yes.
What
Yes.
I do. You know, it comes from the heart.
Never date a woman with BPD. I learned that. I made a mistake.
What's that?
Borderline personality disorder.
What the fuck? Sounds like an excuse for them to just lie and gaslight you.
Well, I
Which
mean,
version of WoW is this?
oh, this is classic WoW.
What the fuck?
You know, just
Well,
good
we can-
old classic
I'll
era.
make my own server.
Discord server? No, his own room. Good old classic era. Easy. It's always easier when you have a friend. Finally, the classic era has what you call it? All right, now we got to get this guy Ursel the Molar. Killed him before he even touched me. Ha ha! I run out of magic though. All right. Now that I killed that thing. Yo, Cam, get your ass in here, man. Ew, why is it? Oh, what the hell? Breathing in my ear? That feels weird. I had earphones on when I listened to that. Is that what keeps you going? That's what gets you going?
Send it somewhere.
Is that what gets you going, bro?
I was like scrolling on Twitter and I clicked on it. And it's like my ears, my right ear, I like felt it like deep inside.
Yeah.
I feel like someone else has to experience this.
Yeah. That's funny. It kind of reminds me, I used to, when I was live streaming on Twitch a long time ago, I used to have like this thing, it was called like music, like people could choose the songs. The one time this guy chose like a knocking song, it was like doop doop doop. Like right next to it, and I immediately turned around. I was like, scared the shit out of me, bro. ASMR, man. There's not as many people playing on Classic era, but to me, it's populated enough.
Where are these comments coming from?
I'm just talking to myself. Some of them are coming from TikTok. Some of them coming from YouTube. I'm live streaming.
Yeah,
on,
it's just yeah, I know. It's just that I looked on YouTube and there's no one.
On TikTok, I mostly get my comments on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I can to stream on every platform, so nobody gets missed out. TikTok, when you're live streaming, it's more likely to send your live stream to other people than, say, YouTube. A lot more likely.
Right, yeah, I see, I see.
Also, when people comment, it reads. My thing reads it. Which is pretty, I like that. I was playing on private servers before, which is basically a pirated version of World of Warcraft, but Blizzard has been shutting them down one by one. So when I was playing World of Warcraft for free, now I can't. I have no choice but to pay. And I'm not gonna play anything else. Like, I just like really enjoy World of Warcraft. I don't really play much of anything else. I've tried for most like Call of Duty and... Hello, PRC. It is I, KingSithis, anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So,
What do you know about anarcho-capitalism?
I mean, not much, bro. I mean, just like the normal capitalism, right? What's the difference?
Well, anarcho-capitalism, well, just is capitalism in its purest form, which is essentially the sorry, give me one sec. Yeah, so it's essentially anarcho-capitalism is the pure free exchange of goods and services between private property owners. And anarchy comes in because we're against the state. Essentially, the state is a criminal organization that forcibly extracts wealth from the innocent. And taxation is theft.
You think so?
100%.
I mean, so how government gonna, collecting money now through taxation then? What's other revenue? I mean, what's the other source of income they could have? They gonna tax like corporations?
No, we don't believe in taxation of any kind. We believe that all the services that the state is currently providing to each individual can be replaced through privatization.
Bro, I think I'm getting cut out a little bit.
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. So what did you say?
I said that it gets replaced through privatization, essentially. Privatization is the free exchange of goods and services between private property owners, and that's when a private business essentially offers the service, some sort of good or service in exchange for, either money or something else. And we believe that all the functions of the state, which is, protection, the courts, the military, all of those can be replaced by private businesses that offer that service in exchange for money.
Right. So what about like let's say healthcare? You think that should be privatized?
Yes.
You think privatized healthcare would benefit most people?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The reason why we have so much trouble now is because the lack of privatization in our market.
I mean, if you look across the globe, right? I mean, some of the countries with the best healthcare systems always public healthcare, like Norway, Finland, like Switzerland, right? Most like European countries have public healthcare.
They
And if
spend a
it's the
lot.
highest quality.
I mean, their healthcare is good despite the fact that it's free. It's not because it is free. If it would have been private, it would be more efficient than otherwise. The reason why that is because the state is not as good as at allocating scarce resources as the private market, because they don't have what you call price signals that allow them to make the best, most value productive decisions. So when a lot of people assume that America is a free market and it has a free market in healthcare, but we actually don't. The United States is actually like spends just as much money, if not more, than a lot of these European countries. And the more money that you spend on healthcare, the more expensive it becomes. Every single year, these countries spend more and more and more on healthcare. Britain, England, all these other countries. And not only that, but the United States is like trillions of dollars in debts, where a lot of these countries are not. They have a surplus, so they can afford things that the U.S. They could kind of get away with certain things that the U.S. can't. But fundamentally, like, when you have the state controlling the healthcare market, it's going to always be less efficient, because all purchases are done through third-party purchases, whereas essentially every single person who is receiving the service is not paying for the actual service. Yeah, and the person who receives the service isn't paying, and the person, like, every other person has to pay on behalf of every other person that doesn't have to pay at that moment. So for instance, you could go into a hospital and you don't have to pay for anything, but everybody else has to pay through taxation. That incentivizes everybody.
Yeah, so that's the whole purpose, right? Because
that incentivizes people to use more
people,
healthcare, and then make healthcare more expensive for everybody else.
So you trust the government to allocate the tax income they have more efficiently than a normal common Joe, right? So
no, absolutely
you want
not.
them to spend the money on yourself.
The economic calculation problem proves that the state is much less efficient than a free market at allocating scarce resources. Private businesses, the reason why private businesses aren't able to allocate scarce resources when it comes to healthcare as much as other fields is because healthcare is the most regulated industry in the world. It's like there's no other industry that is more regulated than healthcare. So it makes like the cost of creating or selling healthcare much more expensive than other goods. If there wasn't as much regulation, you wouldn't see as much of an issue.
Oh, so without regulation, I mean a lot cheaper?
Of course, because you will have different levels of care. So what essentially goes on is that the state basically mandates that you have to have a certain level of care. It mandates that your insurance companies have to cover certain things that they otherwise wouldn't. That you can only get health insurance from, within your state. They also limit the amount of doctors that are allowed within the country or to get licensure. When you limit the amount of doctors that can get a license, you get less doctors. If you have less doctors,
Well, I don't think
it becomes things more
that's true,
expensive.
bro.
You don't
They're
think that's
gonna find doctor overseas, like from Asian countries. Like I know,
You
like
have to leave
from
the country.
Philippines.
You would have to leave the country.
I mean, there's a shortage of doctors for years. So I'm not sure they're trying to limiting these licenses. Or
You think it's a good idea to limit doctors?
no, it's a bad idea, bro.
Oh well,
But what I heard
then
is
you're
that
in agreement with me.
doctors from overseas. Yeah, sure, but I mean, look, I mean, the thing is, I mean, privatized healthcare. I mean, they would obviously prioritize profit a little bit more than giving general healthcare to everyone who deserve that, right? Because what if
If you're
someone
a
can't
doctor,
pay
how
for
do you
that?
make profit? By giving people good health care.
I assume a lot of doctors make most of their money from kickbacks, right? From these pharmaceutical companies by prescribing the drugs they want to sell.
The only reason why these pharmaceutical companies are as rich as they are is because of patent laws. If we abolish patent laws, then they would have a lot less power.
But they spend billions in R&D. You're not gonna let them make a profit.
You could make profit without spending. The only reason why it costs so much to spend on R&D is because of regulation. Get rid of the regulation, you won't have that much expenses.
I mean, but it's necessary. I mean, it's pretty necessary, right? All the clinical trials to prove the drug is safe. I mean, how's that?
If I'm okay with taking a drug, if I'm okay with taking a drug that might be bad for me, that should be my choice. Like, why should the government hold back a drug from entering the market if somebody is willing to take, if somebody's willing to use that drug?
I mean, but if the drug's side effect could be too serious and they'll never get approved, okay? That's
my body. It should be my choice.
Yeah, but the doctor also have responsibility to prescribe you the drugs that most effective with the least amount of side effect, right? That's his responsibility.
Well, they'll be incentivized to do that, because if they don't, then people won't go to that doctor. The market kind of incentivizes you to get the best care, because if you don't, then you could choose a different doctor. Whereas the state, there's only one option.
Well, then we're gonna have a ton of cheap antibiotics that might not work, but only cause like kidney failure.
You can have
right?
accrediting agencies for that. You can have accrediting agencies for that.
Bro, so what's the difference? Like, go through this clinical trials versus like a third-party auditor.
One is forced, the other one isn't. You could so for instance, like let me put a scenario to you, right? Let's say there's this really awesome life-saving drug, right? And it could save, let's say, 20,000 people's lives a year, but it has to go through 5 years of approval process. 5 times 20, that's 100,000 people every single year. That was in those 5 years. That's 100,000 people that could have been saved, but aren't being saved because the government held back a drug that could have saved them, but they want to make it go through all these approval processes. Shouldn't it be the patient's decision to choose what drug they want to put in their body?
Bro, I don't think it worked that way, bro. Because, bro, so
you don't think that
you
happens?
remember what happened with COVID? Bro, you remember what happened with COVID vaccine, right? They got approved in like what, under 3 months?
Yeah, but
then
you didn't have to take the COVID vaccine. If you are forced to take the COVID vaccine, then I'd be against it 100%. You know, I'm against forcing anyone to take a drug at all. But if you weren't forced, then it being approved fast, like, I don't care. If you don't have to take the drug,
you don't care.
No, I think they should have. I don't think it should have to get an approval at all. Like, why should you have to ask the government's permission to sell a drug? What if I'm okay with the drug?
I don't know, bro. Let's do it. Okay, so you assume all the risk. Okay, yeah, that's fine, but I don't think most people would think that. Right?
Well, then they don't have to take it. They don't have to take it.
Bro, what if they got sick already?
What do you mean sick already?
Let's say they got a bacterial infection, right? They have to take antibiotics, but there's thousands of antibiotics that they have no idea which one.
You could just read the review.
Actually treat the infection.
They could just read the reviews.
Read the reviews? What?
Why are you acting like that's such a ridiculous thing? You've never read a review before you bought something? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's fine for like fucking for a phone, for a computer, but for fucking antibiotics, I don't know, bro. Because if you take the wrong antibiotics or the ineffective
it's
one,
just a pill. Like, why is it all that big why is that much of a difference?
No, because if you take the wrong antibiotics, that could create the fucking bacterial resistance. That's really bad.
Then you got to read the labeling on it before you take it. That's kind of up to you.
Yeah, but you won't know that. You will know that.
Then that's on you. If you decide to fucking gobble down some shit before reading the instructions, that's on you, right?
Bro, but I'm not a fucking biologist. I'm not a fucking...
Me neither.
I don't know fucking these fucking drug molecules.
You don't need to be a biologist to know if a drug is safe. You just look at the reviews or look at accrediting agencies that approve certain
that-
drugs.
No, I'm saying that's retarded. There should be a proven track and record showing that it's effective for this bacteria, right? They don't take it. They say it
you
might
could
be
do that.
effective.
You could do that in a free
but then-
market. You know that, right?
Okay, so what about they just drop a new drug, right? So the first 100 people who tried it, they're just like they're like a lab rats. So they're
What
gonna
if
be
I'm
lab
okay
rats
with being a lab rat?
themselves,
What
that's
if I'm
retarded,
okay?
bro. Why would you
How
risk
is that?
your- why would
So
you risk
what?
your
It's
health?
my body.
Why would
It's
you
my
risk your health
body.
for other people?
It's my body, my choice.
I mean, that's retarded, bro. That's
It may be,
irresponsible.
it
bro.
may
You're
be
for your own
irresponsible
health.
or dumb or whatever, but it's my body. I should be allowed to make the choice to be dumb.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think most people on Earth agree with you, though. I don't think most people on Earth think like you.
So what? I'm an anarcho-capitalist. You're talking to an anarcho-capitalist in their anarcho-capitalist room. I'm giving you my anarcho-capitalist opinion.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting, though. So you don't mind risk your own body, your health, just
No,
to
I'm not
provide
saying
a-
I'm going to do that. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. What I'm saying is that people should be allowed to make that decision. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't think, an average man, he's smart enough to understand the consequence of doing these stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's why you have
We are
reviews.
dumb,
That's why
right?
you have accrediting agencies. That's why you have, like, things that you could look at to make your own decision.
How many reviews
I mean,
nowadays
are you
fake,
okay? So,
right?
like,
All these-
are you a expert on all things that you buy before you buy it? Don't you read reviews? Don't you, look things up before you just?
Bro,
go?
yeah, that's why I want to see if there's like a trustworthy third-party auditor that can verify the
Yeah,
effectiveness
you can
of
have
the
a
product
you can
or
have
service.
a private way of doing that. So they have
Bro,
this
you
in
see
real
the
life.
problem with that?
What would be the
All
problem
right,
with
so
that?
you remember. So you want a third party, also a private company, also auditor. I mean, they have their own interests, right? So
They
in
would be
order to have more
incentivized to
business-
tell the truth, because if people find out that they're being greedy or
I don't think so.
taking bribes, then they're not going to. Nobody's going to listen to them anymore. And then they'll lose all their credibility. When you're in a free market, your credibility is what distinguishes you from other businesses. Is what makes you make people buy your good. If you're not credible, then nobody's going to listen to your word.
Yeah, but look, man, but the side effect of these drugs, they don't show up like instantly, right? They could be on for a long time. You
Yeah,
could
but
get
that's-
cancer in 5 years. Nobody
But
knows
that should be
But
like.
by the time you got cancer, nobody knows what's the cause of that, right?
Okay, so
You
should we
can't
have
verify
banned?
that.
Should we have banned cigarettes before it ever came out? So because you don't know the side effects, it could harm you. Should we ban like every single drug?
Bro, in the 50s, nobody knows cigarette cause cancer. They didn't know that. It caused lung cancer. Bullshit. Nobody believed that. It's until like 70s and 80s they should realize, it's true. But it's
Yeah,
just
but-
smoke anyway. Cause
If people know that cigarettes give you cancer and they smoke anyways, I think that should be their choice. Why should we intervene?
because cigarettes is for leisure, right? It's for recreational activity, but drugs is for saving lives. It's a bit different, right?
Well, wouldn't that make it more? Wouldn't that make it like more of a thing that you should prioritize if it is saving lives as opposed to harming them?
Bro, because you're saving lives. That's why you gotta be more careful, right? You don't want to put something there you don't know if it's gonna be effective. Just
Yeah, but
just give it
that's
to
why
someone.
people who are willing to take the risk, they're willing to do that, and they do that. They
Bro,
can
what
do
you
that.
mean willing to take the risk? Would you let
If
your
there's a
mom
new
take the
drug-
drug that is?
If there's a new drug, I mean, what am I gonna do? Force my mom not to take a drug if she wants to take it? What am I gonna do?
No, I'm just saying as a son of your mom, would you allow? I mean, would you let your mom take a drug without any clinical trial, without any study, just because it might be effective on her symptoms or whatever? Right? Would you do that?
I mean, okay, so like obviously, like if my mom was taking like a drug that was like super new and didn't know the side effects, I would probably warn her against it, right? But fundamentally, like it's her body. What am I gonna do? Make her not do it?
It's not about like personal choice or freedom. It's about like being responsible, right? Being moral, right?
We're not talking about morality. We're talking about legality.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's perfectly legal, bro. But
No,
I'm
it's
just
not
saying, you
legal.
won't do
There's
that to your
regulations.
friends, your family. I mean, let's say, I mean, if this become legal, right? There's no regulations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro.
I think people should be allowed to make choices. I think all drugs should be legal, personally. Like, if people want to take drugs, if people want to smoke weed, if people want to,
Yeah, but why would you trust, I mean, the judgment of an average man, right? I mean, rather than some top scientists in the field, let's say all these like, the doctors, some of the best doctors, best of pharmacists in their own field, right? They can give the most credible advice, right, to the rest of us, because we don't know shit about it. So I'd rather trust these guys, bro. I mean, you could say that they probably just
do you think there would,
some...
without regulation, there wouldn't still be doctors? Of course, there's still going to be doctors.
Shit.
There would just be more
yeah,
doctors.
Bro. You see all these surgeons, right? He can operate himself.
Why not?
I mean, how can you fucking operate himself, bro? You're gonna put anesthesia in.
I mean, I don't fucking know. What I'm saying is that it's your body. You can do what you want with it.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying the outcome would be great. I mean, yeah, sure, you can take all the risk, but the probability-wise, I mean, it's kind of mathematically predictable that the outcome would be poor, right? So why would you allow that to happen?
Because people have the right to do what they want with their own body.
Yeah, it sounds like this abortion shit, but all right. I mean, yeah, I accept that, bro. I don't agree with you, but I
mean, I'm not
that.
an abortionist. I'm an evictionist, but it's fundamentally like, people should be allowed to do what they want with their body. If there's a new drug and it hasn't really been tested, and I am willing to, take that risk, I should be allowed to take that risk.
Yeah, but the problem is there could be a consequence of the risk-taking behavior of yours, right? Because what if, because of your recklessness, you're creating a new kind of bacterial resistance, right? So every other people would have getting fucked, bro, because you made that bacteria resistant to the antibiotics that we currently have, right? So that's kind of fucked up, bro. You got to think about that.
I mean, if you do something that negatively affects another person, I mean, that's one thing, but
yeah, that's the whole problem I'm talking about. You cannot take drugs that is not effective to your symptom, because
if you're doing a drug and that negatively affects another person, then you would be responsible for that. But if you're doing a drug and it doesn't harm another person and it's only harming yourself, then I don't see the issue.
No, I'm saying it could, because you are passing these bacteria and virus to other people.
If you
right?
are
Whenever
passing,
you sneeze,
like I
you
said,
cough.
if you are, I don't know, I guess you weren't listening. So what I said was, if you are harming another person, then then I would be against that. But if you're not, the only person that you're harming is yourself, then I don't care.
Yeah, but you're actually harming other people, though,
so
by
every
taking
single
the
drug,
drugs. And
every single drug in the world harms other people when you take it.
No, I'm saying especially
so if you could take a
antibiotics.
drug, if you're taking a drug, right? If you're taking a drug and you taking that drug doesn't initiate a conflict against another innocent person, then I don't care.
Oh, if it's like antidepressant, oh, that's fine, bro. You can take whatever you want.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's your body.
Oh, yeah. That's fine, bro. But not drugs like, antibiotics, like autoimmune drugs.
I don't think autoimmune drugs or antibiotics are as bad as you're making them out to be. I think most people take antibiotics every day, and most other people are fine around them.
No. What?
I'm sorry, I don't remember hearing anyone on the news dying because another person took an antibiotic next to them.
Bro, there's a thing called antibiotic resistance. It's a fucking global crisis. I mean, you can just look it up, bro, on Google and shit.
I'm sure there's a way around
I'm not
that.
making it up. No, I mean, these bacteria mutate. They're mutating faster than we can adapt to it. They've been creating new drugs. So all the antibiotics now are going to become useless. All right?
Yeah, I doubt
Just because one...
I'm sure there's a way
bro,
around
come
that
on,
shit.
man, just look it up.
I'm sure the market will figure out a way around that shit.
Yeah, you got to spend another billion, tens of billions to create next generation of antibiotics and cover more spectrum of bacteria, right? They're going to
Well,
cost
that's
a
what the
lot
free
of money
market
and
is
time.
for. That's what the free market is for.
Bro, so why would you do that? Just put on fucking regulations so you can make sure the current
Because regulations
antibiotics
stop
is
innocent
gonna be
people from
effective.
doing what they want from their body when they haven't harmed another person. If you take an antibiotic, you're not harming another person. You're not doing anything to them.
Bro, you are. I told you why, bro.
Yeah, that's I don't see that as that doesn't make any sense to me. So if I take an antibiotic,
Bro,
I'm
what
not
do you
doing
mean?
anything to another person.
Bro, so when you take, bro, I think I repeated it like 3 times. So
You can repeat it as
So when
many
you take
times
the
as you
wrong
want. It's not going to change like my view on it. Like
So I don't understand. How's that not harming other people?
because you're
you're
not
taking the wrong
because
drugs.
taking an
That
antibiotic
make them-
doesn't harm another person.
It does harm other people because you're creating fucking antibiotic resistance to the bacteria that you're not infected with. So when other people try this, and when the other people try the antibiotic, it will not work because the bacteria
That's not.
already
I don't.
develop
I
resistance.
don't think that's an initiation of a conflict. I mean, would you LD&D? Would you consider people taking antibiotics to be an initiation of a conflict?
Bro, I'm saying the
No,
potential
I don't think so.
consequence of taking the wrong.
I don't think so.
All right, whatever. We got it.
I think you'll be all right. I'm sure the market will figure out a solution.
Bruh. Okay. Yeah, bro, you got yours, man.
Sithis,
I'm not gonna do
everything
that.
in nature mutates. It's the bacteria that harms people, not us.
Oh, so it's the bacteria.
The guy you're talking to is wrong.
So basically, my chat is saying that everything in nature mutates. It's the bacteria that's harmed people, not us. So if I take a drug and it makes another person immune or whatever, I mean, I'm not sure how me taking a drug would cause another person to become immune. I don't know. Not work.
Yeah, because you're interacting with other people, right? Whenever there's like contact, when there's like airborne saliva, right? When these bacteria in these airborne particles transmit to other people,
I mean, if
then
you
this
can
bacteria
connect
from your body, right, develop
like if you could
resistance.
connect a specific disease that was transmitted from one individual to another because of their actions, then you would have a case. But just taking an antibiotic, I don't think that fits.
All right, so whenever you have a cold or flu or influenza,
Oh my god,
then you
this
take
dude
these
is absolutely
antibiotics, take the
stupid.
wrong one, then you are creating harm. You're harming other people. You're depriving their
Then like
options.
if you sneeze on another person's face while you have COVID and they get sick, like I would say I feel like you could make an argument that like you would owe that person like restitution or pay his medical bills, yeah, but just taking antibiotics itself, no, I don't think so.
I can't convince you on that, bro, because you
It doesn't
do
make
have to
sense to
understand a
me.
little bit of biology.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. How, like, you're not transmitting a disease from one person to another. People are responsible for their own immune systems.
Yeah, but it's also our responsibility to make sure that our immune system would always be strong enough to defend whatever bacteria and virus might come.
It's not my responsibility to make another person's immune system better. That's ridiculous.
Okay, all right. Oh, Jesus. Damn.
I mean, you could call me
better talk
crazy,
to a
but that does
doctor,
not make
bro.
any sense. How is that my
bro.
responsibility?
Hey, bro, can you just talk to any physician, talk to any MD, whatever, just talk to him,
for them
bro,
to tell me
about its antibiotic use.
I understand it's
Just
probably
ask what
not
they
a good
think.
idea for everybody to use antibiotics all the time because there's negative effects and stuff like that. But I don't, like I said, I don't consider that to be like a direct aggression to another person.
Yeah, but indirect aggression still bad.
It may not be good. Yeah, I could agree it's not good, but it's not like it's not. I don't think that's a legal matter. But we can just force people not to take antibiotics.
All right, bro. So
What's
if
next?
anything that
Sorry, go ahead. I talked when you talked. My bad.
you tripping, bro.
I'm tripping. I think you're a bit lost in the sauce, my bro.
Bro,
What's
I don't
next? I
take
gotta
drugs
get
at
a.
all.
What's next? I gotta get a freaking license to put toast in my freaking toaster.
Oh shit! I mean, yeah, bro. That
Hell
could be a good
no.
idea.
What? Get out of here with that nonsense. What's
Nah, bro, we got
I
AI
need to get a
now.
license to beat
You
my
don't have to
meat.
do shit. Yeah, bro. What if you snap your meat, bro, in half? How the
According
fuck
to
I know
this
you're
logic,
gonna
if a person
gonna
has a
beat your
good
meat
immune
safely,
system
bro?
naturally, and bacteria mutates to overtake that system, and affects another person, the person with the good immune system has
Yeah,
aggressed.
it's always a dilemma.
Absolutely
right? Between, like,
stupid.
regulation and
So my comment section is
safety.
like, my comment says, according to his logic, if a person has a good immune system naturally and bacteria mutates to overtake that system and affect another person, the person with the good immune system has aggressed. That doesn't make. He's saying that's absolutely that doesn't make any sense. Essentially, so wait, like essentially,
Hold on,
like
bro.
if you take a pill and then there's because of that a bacteria is like later created that apparently is stronger than the medicine. Like I wouldn't say it's unless like you can directly link that bacteria being created to that from that person's body and then it got like transferred to that other person and like you can maybe you could collect restitution, but yeah.
No, it's not a bacteria. It's the bacterial resistance.
Yeah, but the bacteria is resistant to the antibiotics, isn't it? Isn't that what's the issue?
Yeah, because you took the wrong antibiotics.
Yeah, so I don't see that as being an aggression because you're not the one that created the bacteria. What's going on is that bacteria is becoming resistant to the drug, right?
Yeah, because you took the wrong one, bruh. You shouldn't have took that shit.
Then you aren't the one doing anything to that person. So you're not. That's not an aggression.
No, you should be smart next time, bro. Don't take the wrong drugs.
And it may be stupid, but it's not like a legal matter. Chad status. Hey, my name is KingSithis. I am an anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you. Okay, I think he might.
Yeah. Do you play WoW?
Yes, I do. I'm playing World of Warcraft Classic right now.
What is Classic?
Classic is the original version of World of Warcraft. Like the first one. When it first came out.
Are you playing like the Frozen servers?
Frozen? What do you mean by that?
Like are they capped at 60 or is it like
it's capped
going
at
on?
60 and it's gonna stay that way like I get what you mean now and like it's gonna be that way in this server for the for here on out.
I have vision that she
So bad. I used to play the fuck out of Classic, bro. I know a lot about that game.
What do you know about anarcho-capitalism?
I know that it doesn't work in Classic WoW, and if it doesn't work in Classic WoW, it sure as fuck not gonna work in the real world.
It's a video game.
Yeah, I know, but the video game is also a microverse of reality. It's a
I have
microcosm.
a question for the anarcho-capitalist in this VC.
It is. I am the anarcho-capitalist libertarian KingSithis. Nice to meet you.
I'm trying to find some books to read. What would you recommend?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So a book to start off with anarcho-capitalism that I like to recommend for like people who are just starting out is definitely A Spontaneous Order by Chase Rachels. That one is definitely a good book to start out on. Then there's, you know, Murray Rothbard's Ethics of Liberty. A lot of people like that one. There's also Hoppe. Hoppe's Democracy, the God That Failed is a pretty good book. And A Theory of Socialism and Capitalism is also another good book. Yeah. I can name
What
you
was the last two? The last two was Hoppe, Democracy,
Democracy, the God That Failed. And there's also A Theory of Socialism and Capitalism. Yeah, those two books are pretty good.
Atlas Shrugged is a fun one.
Atlas Shrugged, I probably wouldn't recommend. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my chat, so I'm also live streaming this. I don't know if I would recommend that one because I mean, Atlas Shrugged is not an AnCap book. So, I mean, it is a libertarian book though. But Atlas Shrugged, a lot of libertarians like that book. William Paley. Yo, William Paley, my guy over here, he's a book guy too.
Hello. So what would you say are the top three? Spontaneous Order.
I'd probably Spontaneous Order. I didn't mention this one, but there's Stephen Kinsella has an amazing book. Fuck, what is it called? It's called a theory, legal theory of no, not that. It's not that.
It's Legal Foundations of a Free Society.
There you go. Thank you so much, William. Oh my God, I had a brain block. Yes, Legal Foundations of a Free Society. Yes, that is a really good book. You should read that one too. Yeah. So, A Spontaneous Order, Legal Foundations of a Free Society. Those two are really like, I feel like you're when you read those two books, you're gonna get a really good understanding of AnCap.
Oh my God, this one's 800 pages long.
Yeah, they're kind of long, but they also have audiobooks.
Well, they also have like specific links, like specific like chapters you can like kind of navigate around. I haven't read the whole book. I've read parts of the book.
Yeah, Legal Foundations of a Free Society, you don't have to read every single chapter. You probably could just skip to the ones that are more relevant to your liking. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think my favorite chapter is the one on causation and responsibility. I loved that one. That one was excellent. But
yeah, Stephen Kinsella is really good. I actually took a chapter from that book and turned it into a YouTube video. So you can actually listen to one of the chapters by a posh British guy.
I'm actually, ironically enough, writing a critique of that very chapter for Substack. But
I think it's pretty good, but also A Theory of Socialism and Capitalism I think is pretty good too. I like that book.
Have you read The Economics and Ethics of Private Property?
No, but I got it on my list. I gotta listen to that shit. I gotta listen to all the Hoppe books.
Do you ever read that one essay where Hoppe talked about his views on immigration?
No, but I did listen to what you sent me, the what's his name's response to Hoppe, and I think he made a perfect response to him.
Walter Block.
Does Hoppe have some sort of like conservative leanings or something?
Hoppe, I guess
Hoppe
you could
has
say
very conservative leanings.
Mm-hmm.
He advocates for basically Hoppeanism is essentially a very conservative libertarian philosophy. It advocates basically like what Hoppe calls like a natural order, and he wants there to be like a sort of covenant communities where people kind of agree to like follow like kin-centered societies where they kind of ostracize and exclude people who hold like certain views and behave in certain ways that are, you know, typically considered against conservative beliefs. And while a state exists, Hoppe advocates for like restricting immigration and so for example, so I mean Hoppe definitely is a much more conservative libertarian, but he's not 100% like
He's not
Zero and
100% anarcho-capitalist in terms of like all of his policies, but if you read his AnCap books, I think they're really good. Like there's a reason why a lot of people like tend to mention him is because he may not be like 100% like follow the letter of the law of AnCap, but when he does write about AnCap, it's really good. Like he has a way of like explaining it. It's pretty good.
Bobby, can you do me a huge favor, pal?
Who, me?
Me?
No, Globby. Yeah, you, buddy.
Peace be with you.
I guess so.
Thank you. Well, you're like my only friend, so that's not true. He's my only friend in the server, but yeah, Globby. So check this out, bro. Spice Bomb Extreme. Let's not forget tomorrow. I'll be spice bombing. But on more important things, can you please download my compiler? Compile it, and then run a Hello World script I give you to make sure that my code compiles on your platform, right? I assume you're using Windows, because I can only test on Mac right now. Okay, can you please do that for me so I can make sure, because we're at production grade quality right now. Like I have a working compiler. The only thing I need to fix is that module imports are broken in the language. But besides that, like all of the core features are pretty much working.
We should probably move to another chat because they're streaming.
Oh yeah, my bad, guys. My bad. We'll do that real quick. My bad.
Go.
I'm going, pal.
Wow, I kind of like that guy. And he left.
So fucking random.
I thought it was kind of funny, the conversation that I had before you guys came in. We were talking about like legalizing drugs and stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, it sounds like a common topic of discussion you would have. You did mention the whole Walter Block essay, that you liked it or what have you.
I felt like he basically was like, you know, if you're gonna call me out for this one thing that I am going against, I guess you think I'm going against, then you know he basically kind of like let out his dirty laundry on all the things that he's anti-AnCap on. You know what I mean? And then he kind of made the argument that like one is definitely like a lot less bad than the other one, and you could say kind of the same way as he was saying democracy is like much worse than monarchy, even though you're both against both, right? Like, you know, even though you could be both against, you know, I feel like his arguments were pretty solid. So, you know,
I mean, I agree with Block's framework insofar as he argues that, like, you know, even with a hardcore libertarian viewpoint, that you can still say one country is better than another. But I don't. I guess I would overall say the Israeli government is better than Hamas. But I definitely don't think their conduct in the war is appropriate whatsoever. But that's a whole other. It's actually the kind of crucial disagreement I have with Block. But there are other things too, like his whole argument, like, oh well, conquest, defensive conquest is just, well, maybe so, but like that doesn't work as a collective thing. The people, you can't like go and like say, oh well, everyone in this collective we're going to hold them collectively guilty because they're, you know, government or an army claiming to represent them, what have you, came in and attacked us and they got out of the way. Then like therefore they like forfeit their homes, or you can go then and expel them, what have you. That's an issue I would have with Block's reasoning, but in some respects, but and also I also would question the whole the whole human. I have a more strict view on human shields than he does, but not an absolute like thing. But regardless, yeah, that's kind of like the broad position I would take about the Israel-Palestine issue. But yeah, I mean, I guess I got some books on the Israel-Palestine conflict. I need to read up much more on the history of it, so I can have a better understanding of the topic. But yeah, it's gonna be I really got to read the books I got for my birthday. Like I got a bunch of books,
I
and
have to
I've
fucking read
only read one of them.
so much shit, man. I just gotta get out there and.
How you feel, man? I have years worth of books to read, and the thing is, like, I read books online all the time. I mean, for goodness sake, I found it wasn't technically a book, but I found a dissertation or what have you by Norbert Slenzak. I don't know if it's technically a dissertation, but I think it was based on his dissertation, but like and expanded, where he basically reviewed Hoppe as a political philosopher, which is awesome because Slenzak is really good on like going into like the philosophical roots of Hoppe's belief. It's some complicated stuff, but especially Hoppe's epistemology, but it's really important to get in order to like understand what the heck Hoppe is saying with some of his arguments. He's the guy who wrote the one big paper. Not the big, like the more small, I guess, comparatively to his like sort of dissertation essay on argumentation ethics, and that I sent you a while ago. It's really good. I highly recommend it. But he's expanding it more.
I gotta eventually untangle that web.
Yeah,
argumentation ethics. I gotta untangle.
Dude, what is the point of all this fucking? What is this for?
What do you mean? It's
better reading a guy's dissertation about argumentation ethics
makes you understand it better. It makes you understand it better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at a philosopher who's basically, because the way Hoppe writes is basically like he appeals to a lot of philosophical concepts that most people don't really understand, and if you take them at like face value, they're either going to be hard to get, or else you're just going to like come to a completely wrong conclusion. So it's useful to have someone basically place Hoppe in the context of like the people who he argues against, even in those works. Well, he'll say, "Oh, I was inspired by Jürgen Habermas and Karl Otto Apple," but most people are gonna, not read those works and aren't gonna like understand exactly how important they are to Hoppe's ideas and like the way he articulates them. So it's useful to have someone go and like do the work of like studying that stuff, and then you can go and read it. It's also important. I'm also trying to like read some of those works or works about those things in order to, further get the point. But yeah, I think it's important to understand Hoppe because I think some of Hoppe's ideas are really interesting, and therefore I want to understand them better.
What is this things that are popping up on my chat? Leo philosophy? Are these memes? Let me see.
What chat?
My what you call it? My live stream chat.
Okay. Is everyone complaining about me or something?
No. I'm just saying it's saying Tokyo Yakinini and Ellen Leo philosophy, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what is this? In my chat, and I'm like, what is this?
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I just think that there's a big discernment between practicality and theoretical approach, and some people dabble in theory their whole life.
Theory is good.
Theory does not build the world around you. Theory does not make anything tangible that you use. And
yeah, but by understanding theory, you can kind of know like the direction you want to help push things into. I agree it's important to like not just do theory and also do some action, if possible. But that's like that doesn't change the fact that theory is also pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, today's day and age seems to be run so much by compute, and it seems we have crossed a new paradigm where a lot of these things will come into question, and we'll see. Because I think the human ethics and kind of the stance of industry against humanity is going to change in our lifetime.
Okay.
Maybe your anarcho-capitalist dream will come a little bit more true. There's like
Sometimes I'm feeling a
I'm not
little bit
an
black
AnCap.
pilled some
droves
days.
and droves
Not gonna
of
lie.
automatons building roads and buildings and all kinds of shit.
Yes.
Maybe.
To clarify, I am not an AnCap. This is the AnCap
I am
here.
the
I don't know if,
AnCap,
well, unless
yep.
you are, but like
I'm pretty.
I am
Sometimes
the-
I feel pretty black pilled. I'm not gonna lie. Lately, like I've been thinking, like, fuck, bro. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I wasting my time? Like, this is never gonna happen. Nobody agrees with me.
Well, yeah.
Everybody in my comment section hates me. Like, it's only the 5 people that are AnCap that agree with me. Like, I feel like that. You ever seen Okay, so the guy who not invented, but there was a guy who came up with the idea of washing your hands before, operating on another
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
What was his name? It was what was his name? Swiver. He's a Polish doctor. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Right.
It starts with an S, but like
His story really blackpilled the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, bro. So he basically, I'm sure you know the story, but I'm just gonna say it for the chat's sake. He basically not invented, but just he basically came up with the idea of washing your hands. When you operate on people, before you operate on people and stuff like that. And he said that washing your hands is definitely going to,
yeah.
It's definitely going to like make you better off, right? And people fucking hated him. They ostracized him. They called him like all this shit. They said that he was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Something
he made the observation that like the situation was basically there was basically he was delivering births for women, and he basically and of course, like when women would when women were not having surgeons deliver the babies, they were actually getting a specific disease or diseases way less. So he figured if he would he wondered, okay, is like the surgeon spreading it to them, and so he figured, why don't we just wash our hands before doing the next surgery, and it drastically cut the infection and death rate down. And yeah, people were like, "You're crazy." I believe he eventually was put in like some kind of insane asylum because of it. So yeah, it was definitely.
So it's just like a guy that did nothing but help the world, right? Did nothing but just put out there an idea that would do nothing but help the world, right? Everybody hated him. And they did all this fucking up shit to him, and he died alone, and everybody fucking looked at him like a piece of shit. And it's just like, dude, that's how I feel about the non-aggression principle. Like, I'm out here like telling people, hey, maybe we shouldn't be initiating force against people. Maybe we shouldn't be fucking doing this. And everybody's looking at me like I'm a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what kind of fucking world are we living in that the people who are, out here saying things that are actually like positive for the world, that there's no real negative to like, and we're looked at like pieces of shit, right? Or like the guy who fucking, there was a guy who stopped the atomic bombs in Russia.
Yo,
right?
Sithis, now that you say atomic bombs, check this out. I got something for you. Have you ever seen the film called Watchmen?
What's that have to do with what we're talking about, bro?
It's super fucking important.
Anyways,
please stop derailing.
Yeah, don't derail what I'm talking about, bro. So what I was going to say was like,
one day you'll find out how fucking relevant what I said was. But,
maybe.
Okay, you can stay ignorant, bro.
So
It's
yeah, I don't know.
important.
Just to
The plot of that film and the conclusion of it.
Thank you. So what I was going to say was, yeah, like they treated him like he was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And to me, it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Where I'm like just sitting here saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't initiate force against innocent people. And everybody wants to look at me like I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah. And I have, there are definitely things you can do. But to limit that, but like, yes, I agree that ANCAP is not happening anytime soon. There might be like very specific situations where like ANCAP happens in specific places, but I don't think it's going to survive long term. Or yeah, but like, so yeah, I mean, frankly, I think the world becoming very socialist is a much more feasible outcome than libertarian. I'm not saying either is going to happen. I'm just saying.
I
like,
get
in the
you,
long
man.
term,
Because
but,
like the whole idea of like, I don't know, not aggressing.
Most people want
you
a big
know?
government. And certainly a government much bigger than the ones libertarians want. Even the conservatives who like small government think that having a society as even like remotely close to what libertarians want is like insane. So like, yeah, I don't see it as likely that you're gonna convince most people to, get rid of welfare or what have you.
I don't think I've convinced anyone, honestly. The only people that agree with me, like, the only people are already ANCAP. Like, it's just blackpilling as fuck, man. Like, sometimes I think, like, shit, like, what the fuck am I even doing? Why am I even wasting my time? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's just,
I'm
not trying to be, like, I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
yes, 100%. I exactly like if I became an ANCAP, I probably wouldn't talk about it much, outside of like just theoretical interest, because it's like it's not going, and also it's like guide my own life insofar as like how I can behave morally in light of the system. But like, I would definitely not be talking about it all the time because it's not going to happen, and it's just going to cause unnecessary controversy, frankly. I'm talking about people who aren't intellectually interested in it. But yeah, that would be like.
Dude, I was literally talking to a woman, and she literally told me that she didn't want to talk to me anymore because of my YouTube channel.
What do you mean? What about it specifically?
She said that I curse too much and that she didn't like my opinions on socialism.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah. But interesting combination of criticisms. But like yeah, but yes, I mean I certainly think like you could like definitely improve with like the optics. Do I think it's gonna change? Like, are you gonna be like?
I don't think it's gonna change. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, I could be better off, but to me, it's just like in my head, the overall thing is just like, it doesn't fucking make a difference. I'm gonna be hated in every way. Like, people are gonna hate the shit out of me no matter what. So I say wild shit.
People will hate you less though.
Well, to me, the thing is like people hate me.
For example.
But now when I say wild shit, people hate me. But now they now they know about ANCAP. Like it's just
yes, but their knowledge of ANCAP is someone who fulfills a bunch of stereotypes people promote about ANCAP. Like that's what I'm so like that's gonna make them. Not only they're going to hear about it, yes, but they're going to be way less likely to listen to anyone who comes about in the future, even if they are more optical and talking about it because of the fact that they were exposed to someone who was basically like who fit every single stereotype that like the people who talk against ANCAP promote about ANCAPs. I mean, you don't fit literally every single stereotype, but
I do fit a
like
lot of them.
If you do, yeah. And like that's kind of like if like for example every time you argue with like people who defend taxation you make like rape analogies and stuff like that, or whenever you talk about like if you talk about drugs you call them like pharmaceutical salesman. I agree you did. You definitely did way better when it came to like for example the whole dog leash debate you had more recently as I told you about.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? How Well, how you think about that? What you
I think I
wanna
told you
hear
about it pretty extensively in DMs, but yeah, I thought you did way better. The individual who was calling themselves a libertarian was a bit of a
Some libertarian
just
he
did
was,
not
huh?
fundamentally understand your position, he understood better than Bumblebee did, but like he just doesn't have a position that like makes any like it's not libertarian in the typical sense libertarianism is used. Even if you take, it's not not even in a sense of like the minarchist Ayn Rand kind, or even something like even a little further out from that, even when like a little bit of NAP violation. It's just completely like conceptually he doesn't get the concept of negative rights. If you don't like if you believe in positive rights, like especially to the extent like he was talking about, calling you a libertarian is in the American context anyway is just it's bizarre. Like
Yeah, he said
it's
what
very
he said I was
peculiar.
a they said I was a paleo libertarian. I didn't even know what the fuck that meant.
Yes.
I had
I
to
sent
look
you
that
the
up.
Wikipedia article on it.
No, yeah, I had to
But
look that
yeah,
up and like read what it was, but I guess it's a more of like a conservative
you
libertarian.
aren't.
Definitely not.
You aren't a paleo libertarian. I
Definitely
mean, the
not.
obvious counter you could raise against them is that like, if, oh, so that, someone says, oh, so this is a white supremacist because of his views on anti-discrimination laws. You could, or white nationalists or what have you. You could just easily ask them, how many white nationalists do you know that support open borders?
That's a very good question.
Because there are some white supremacists do. It's very rare, but there are people, Richard Hanania, for example, who does. But it's very uncommon, and a very good sign someone's probably not a white supremacist, and they have no interest in using the government to maintain white supremacy, because having open borders would be about as detrimental to that goal as literally anything else you could do. So it's a very dumb claim, but I mean, you could argue about Hoppe. Like, if someone said they think Hoppe is a white supremacist, well, yeah, but he is, but
Definitely not.
But
I'm definitely not a white. I'm not even white. I'm Puerto Rican.
you can be non-white and be a white supremacist, but it is a thing.
It's just
but, like,
that would not make sense. That wouldn't fit my ideology in the slightest.
It doesn't. But like your position is you're not one. That's not inaccurate. Like, when Bumblebee was saying, "Oh, you're hating yourself," it's like, no, I don't buy that at all. I definitely don't get the impression that you hate yourself or anything to do with that. You're just like it's similar to like.
I mean, fundamentally, it's just a stance on
moderate.
property rights. I mean, it has nothing to do with race, or sex, or insert whatever gender or disability. Fundamentally, it's a property rights issue. And that's what I was trying to stick to, in that debate. I was like, hey, like this is a property rights issue,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's also hard to just like it's hard to get across these concepts to a lot of people. It's just trying to bridge conceptual gaps is hard. I understand like how someone conceptualizes various concepts and try to like make sure they actually understand what you're trying to say. That's really like it's difficult to do. It can be done in many cases, not always, but yeah. I mean, I would just I mean, I've suggested this before. I'd highly recommend reading the book as like a top priority thing. Reading Michael Huemer's book, The Problem of Political Authority. It kind of makes the case for like libertarianism. Granted, it's a more modest form of libertarianism, in like common sense terms. Like, even if you don't like take on Huemer's exact like philosophical views on the subject, like using a lot of the arguments he uses are more he's better at like making arguments in a way that like makes sense to the average person, and that like are very like useful. Admittedly, a lot of people don't like philosophy, but like I think for a lot of people who debate online, like if you can like present it as like more of like interesting philosophical problems, like how you resolve it, why and you're polite, nuanced, etc. If you come across as like nuanced, that's really important. If you come across as like someone who just like kind of like tries to make these like very simplistic like false dichotomies or things that appear to be false dichotomies to people, they're just gonna shut down, and they're not gonna take what you say seriously. Whereas if you try like make it a more like nuanced issue, which oftentimes it is indeed a nuanced issue, I think that is really helpful for getting taken seriously. I mean, there are people like, I don't know if Meatball's technically an AnCap, but she's a libertarian who's pro-choice, and indeed, despite her being pro-choice, she's actually relatively well liked by a lot of pro-lifers and just people in general, and also pro-choicers who are
That
well aware of
libertarian
that
guy that I was
actually-
talking to was completely off. Completely off.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Like he admitted, he was like, I asked him very clearly and plainly, do you think it's an initiation of a conflict to force another person into their business? You know, and then he said, yeah. And then he tried to turn around and say it was an initiation of a conflict to discriminate. And I'm like, but what a thing are you initiating a conflict against? And he was like, oh, but it's not about property. I was like, then what is it about? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he just it's what's the issue of like when people like have positions that if he took his position consistently, he wouldn't be a libertarian. And I would say honestly,
I should have honed in on him on the island thing, bro. I should have honed in on him on the island thing, bro. That thing, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about it like after a little bit, but I really should have honed in on that, because if I would have got, fundamentally, he knew he was backed in a corner on that, you know.
He shifted the topic pretty quickly
because he knew
because he realized.
Yeah.
And he pretty much stated he knew that it's at least somewhat analogous, because it doesn't, his position doesn't make any sense. I mean, he even tried to appeal to like social contract theory, which that is so embarrassing. Even counting left liberty, that would disqualify you even from being a left libertarian, especially a libertarian anarchist. Actually under a, like, keep in mind, social contract theory is a much stupider theory if you have like a more left-wing view on how like contracts and consent works, because they consider things like financial pressure to be coercive in themselves, whereas libertarians take a more like generally don't, though they're again like there's like an actual threat of initiation of force, but like under their position, like even if you granted the state legitimately owns the land, that would be a contract made under duress, and therefore it wouldn't be a legitimate contract. So they have like, there's literally no way, even on a very small scale, that you could ever have a legitimate social contract under their type of view. So like, that's the hilarious thing. If you believe in like all these positive rights and like, which would imply a more broad definition of coercion, then you are even more.
I thought the island example was funny.
Yeah,
The island
have actually one of the. If aside from the whole title transfer aspect, libertarian and like they're more specifically the belief that like self ownership is inalienable. Libertarians actually have one of the theories of contract that are probably closest to vindicating social contract theory as an idea, even though social contract theory completely fails under it because it's such a stupid theory. The only way it could even work is if you had like a more like Thomas Hobbes view on like how consent and contracts work. But Hobbes's views are ridiculous and virtually no one takes them seriously. So it's not. I don't think social contract is a very defensible position. David Hume in particular, just who's by no means a libertarian, cooked it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
Rothbard
kicked it. Fucking what's his name?
Spooner?
Lysander Spooner. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, Spooner, he destroyed it in his book.
Yes, he cooked it really badly. But yeah, like, I mean, even statists like William Paley in the book my username is a citation of, absolutely cooked social contract. Hume, obviously, Hume's example is very commonly cited among like philosophers. Like mainstream political philosophers, like when they talk about social contract theory, as far as they have education on it, like they will often, if they're going to bring up objections to it, Hume is the common source. His essay of the original, Michael Huemer even cites Hume as a source as for one of his arguments, and it's a very like it's amazing that I honestly want to find more of like there were like attempts to respond to these like objections, because like I'm trying to find any. It's like surely someone's got to have made some kind of essay responding to these type of objections, because like these objections are so obvious and so patently fatal. Like surely the average person's objection, like dumb counter responses, are not the only objections people have made. Surely there are more intelligent, like nuanced arguments, but I mean, my understanding is actually that among like professional philosophers, implicit consent versions of social contract theory are not generally taken seriously, largely because of the arguments of people like David Hume. Whereas there are some like hypothetical consent theories of social contract, like those of John Rawls, which really shouldn't even be considered social contract theories in my opinion, because they're not really like that. But they're so different that I would put them in different category. But like even if we go with that, like those views are indeed taken seriously, but they don't work as contract, because hypothetical consent is a legitimate concept, but it doesn't apply to people who are like rational and able to make decisions. It applies to people who are like, for example, like unconscious, underage, insane, what have you. You can say, okay, well, someone's like, someone got into a car accident. We don't know what their position is. They haven't run down like their will, or like what to do if whether you perform life-saving measures on them, even if there's like some physical risks to them. So you kind of assume they probably will consent, and then you do that. That's an example of hypothetical consent. That makes perfect sense in those situations. But if someone is like, able to make a decision, you can't go and perform a medical surgery on them without asking their consent under the theory that you think they probably would agree to it. That's not how that works. So nor can you make a business deal with someone because you think, this is the best business deal ever, and obviously they would agree to it if they knew all the facts. I can see Trump saying something like that, but it's just not. It's not really how consent works. But like, Rawls has more of a theory of justice aspect, which is more of why I don't really even like to call it a social contract theory. But I'm kind of going off. But back to what I was saying. Michael Huemer's book is really good to read, because it really explains a lot of like these concepts in like a more common sense way. I mean, there are some analogies some people will like initially laugh at, and you gotta overcome the incredulity, which is kind of hard to fully do. But I think that's like an area if you want to like. I think if Huemer's approach had taken off as like kind of like the mainstream AnCap argument, AnCaps would probably have a lot more adherents. Now, would they succeed? No, but they would come close. They would probably fail more epically, I guess. Not epically,
that guy had no choice but to admit that if I would have honed him down on that analogy, he would have had no choice but to admit that you would have to like basically sexual assault every prostitute on the island if they say no because of racism.
Oh. Yeah, okay, I see. That's an interesting one. That one, that kind of analogy might be the one exception to the whole don't use sex analogies or rape analogies, because that one does have some level of like how the whole question of how do you reconcile those kind of laws with legalizing that activity is actually a legitimate
because I couldn't think of any other analogy but they told me not to use a sex analogy, so what I did is I used punching of the face, right? So I was like, okay, well then let's say somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, we all sell the service of being punched in the face, but we're not going to do it. We're all simultaneously going to say no to you because of insert X race or a disability. Would that make it okay for that person to like force that service onto that person because they were discriminating against them and therefore limiting their freedom? And he immediately switched from answering the question to, oh, but what about you and Taco Bell? And
yes, that was hilarious.
And then hey, hello, I am KingSithis.
Hi.
Anarcho-capitalist libertarian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Proxy. I am a democratic socialist in New York, part of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. Would it be okay if I asked a quick question once you guys are done?
you can ask whatever you want.
Okay, amazing. Could you just sum up your beliefs as it relates to the status quo and what we could do to change to better align with your views? Like just the first thing that's come to
Well,
mind. You know?
abolish the state. First off, we're against the state because the state is a criminal organization. The state forcibly extracts wealth from innocent people. We're also against regulation. Any law that prohibits innocent people from doing what they want with their private property. We're very strong believers in private property, and essentially the main idea of the libertarianism is the non-aggression principle. Nobody has the right to initiate force against another innocent person, or not initiate force, initiate conflicts against another person in their legitimately acquired property.
How would you suppose an economic structure would work under a no-state society?
Everything that essentially most of the things that the state would be providing today would be done through some sort of private business or community of some sort.
But do private businesses not require some form of regulation in order to actually function and maintain some sense of moral good?
Regulations are a private property violation, and the reason why that is because if you're the owner of a scarce resource, you have the right to include or exclude other people or do whatever you want with that scarce resource, so long as you aren't initiating a conflict against another person in their legitimately acquired property. So if I am a business owner and I... Sorry, what?
Sorry, continue.
I was just going to say, as long as what you're doing isn't initiating force against another person, so like starting a business, and let's say the government comes in and they say, hey, you have to build a a ramp on your business, I would consider that to be an initiation of force against the business owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then how do you advance or progress a society in terms of technology? Because let's take something, for example, like say the advent of electric cars, in which in order to have a society in which electric cars are more suitable due to things like climate change and because they're generally more affordable in total, you would need to require businesses to have some sense of progression, mandatory. Otherwise, it's really hard to make any sort of progressive change.
Nah, that's incorrect. You don't.
How do you make any form of technological change?
Well, profit,
within like a large scale
profit incentivizes businesses to create goods and services that people want more than the money that's in their pocket. And the main reason why there isn't as many electric cars as there would be otherwise in the United States is because we put tariffs and restrictions on outside countries that are able to sell us electric cars at a much cheaper rate. But because of regulations within the United States that block competition, we are not able to get those cars. I mean, in China, they have cars that are like $10,000 that are electric, right? We could buy those cars, right? But the state doesn't let us. So the state's barriers on the market is what creates these issues.
Well, if you look at, I'm not exactly speaking from like I'm more speaking in a philosophical sense about governments rather than specifically the U.S. as in currently. But
US is
if you want to move it to there, sure, I suppose. But
I was just using them as an example.
Some form, yeah, sure. But is some form of mandated like technological reform within businesses like logical? Because it's I know there's like the logical argument that
get rid of patent laws, get rid of regulations that get rid of tariffs, and the profit motive will naturally incentivize businesses to provide better and cheaper and more advanced technology.
But cheaper doesn't mean better. If you look at
that's why I said
if you look at a country like China,
advanced.
where I know, but if you look at a country like China, in which the idea of patent laws is so gone down, there are so many businesses which provide inferior services that are still making it out due to severe lack of copyright and individual.
That's your if you consider a business, if the people Well, that's your opinion. Well, whether or not
if you want to go this into like a creative space,
whether or not a business, I mean, a good or service is inferior or superior to another one is completely based on the subjective evaluations of the individuals who are buying it. There's no such thing as a objectively more valuable service or objectively more valuable good. Fundamentally, if something is cheaper and people are choosing to buy it based on that reason for it being cheaper is what makes it more superior than the alternative. You can't, it's not the government's, I don't think the government or any people should interfere with those voluntary transactions because they may not like
what about creative works?
What about it?
Do you not own some sense of your design?
No.
No?
A design? You can't own information. You don't own information. Information is not a scarce resource.
Well, you can own a concept which you created. You can say that as a thing that I
made.
From
the libertarian perspective, right? The only thing that you can own is scarce resources because only scarce resources are things in which you can conflict
over. Well, then how do you define what exactly a resource is? Like in that sense.
A resource is something in which you can use as a means to an end. A scarce resource is a resource in which there can be conflicts over. So for instance, an example of that would be a car. I can't drive your car simultaneously as you in north as you simultaneously drive it south. The reason why that is, it's because a conflictable resource. So an idea, which would be like if I come out with a painting, and somebody else decides to copy that painting, your use of that painting is not taken away from you, the same way a car is. So the idea that you own that concept is illegitimate from the libertarian standpoint.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, as a horror illustrator, you don't, like, foundationally own ideas, concepts. Like, a good example is the Vanta Black controversy. Like, owning something like a color idea or artistic function is kind of, like, nuts.
And actually, most socialists
really
agree with this.
Yeah.
In fact, most socialists, because you said you were a socialist earlier,
yeah,
a lot of socialists don't agree with copyright. And the reason why that is because it is essentially, from their view, it is legitimizing property.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I mean, it is legitimizing a form of property, but we would, us libertarians would not, we would not consider that property to be a legitimate form of property neither, but for different reasons entirely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, in a no state, how would the libertarian argue for how a state would function under military? Like, how would they work using a military, in any sense?
Insurance companies would hire private militias if there was some sort of war happening. And insurance companies would basically, you know how your car is covered in... I'm sure you have a car, right?
Yeah.
Well, or have had a car. I'm sure you know how insurance works, right?
Sure.
So basically, like, if your car gets into an accident, somebody violates your rights by crashing into you, or, you know, you accidentally crash into somebody else, because a whole bunch of people sort of pay into a pool of money whenever, and accidents are rare, don't always happen every day. Well, at least to the same person. Because of that, you can basically pull from a pool of money to pay for those rare occasions in which people do get into those sorts of situations. And what you could do is you could expand that to cover individuals' bodies and their individual property rights. So like your house or your body. So if somebody comes up to you and stabs you, then your insurance company would find the person who does it and then charge them and force them to pay restitution and give you that money the same way like it would be with your car.
Well, how would you force them to pay anything?
Using guns?
In that sense. Well, I mean, I suppose, but are you just supposing that in this scenario, all private companies would have the infinite right to just walk up and quote-unquote investigate you?
Nobody would have any infinite right to do anything. The only thing, if you have, let's say that person has an insurance company and they say, I didn't do it, right? That insurance company will go to the other insurance company, right? The same way as if you get into a car accident with another person, those insurance companies will meet up. They will evaluate the evidence. And if they disagree, they'll go to take it to some third party arbitration firm, which will then look over the evidence, and whichever decision they make, well, they'll side on that decision. And it will work the same way with your body as well as your house. And they're examples of this happening all the time. The only difference is that it's not being done with your body or your house. It's done with your car or other things that insurance covers.
Well, all of those insurance companies exist in a standard framework of government in which there are laws which can be enforced about these sorts of things. If there's no state, then how would you regulate these kinds of things? You can't just assume that all private companies would all equally act morally.
Competition would regulate it. Because competition, if there's businesses that are bad, like let's say there's a business that's violating people's rights, not paying up their insurance claims or not actually showing up when you call them, well, then you could move to another insurance company. Whereas with the state, it's a monopoly on force. And if the state doesn't show up and protect you, well, then you're screwed. At least with private insurance, you have multiple options. With the state, you have none. You only have one. And you have to pray and that they're actually going to follow through in the way that you want it.
Okay, well, let's take it in this scenario. If an insurance company comes in and when I say rights, I mean rights as we currently know them.
Yeah, I would define a right as an action that ought not be impeded. That's how I would define a right.
Sure. I suck at remembering amendments. Shoot. Okay, whatever. The one in which police officers can't completely just come in and walk into your house without...
I don't believe in the Constitution. I believe in the non-aggression principle. That's my Constitution.
Well, no, I know. I'm saying, like, as in, let's say an insurance company does that, as in the sense that they, quote unquote, investigate you, right? Or aggressing on you. How would you deal with that? What steps could you do with that? Because there's no framework where you can do it. Would you boycott them?
Well, people could boycott them, yes. People could you could move to a different insurance company, and then that insurance company can take on the case and sue on your behalf. There's claim subrogation, which is, let's say you have
sue. How would you sue in a system upon which there isn't like a legal framework?
There's private arbitration. There would still be courts, and it would just done everything. All the things that the state does would still be there. It would just be done privately. So, for instance, if you have a dispute, you could go to a private court. You could go to a lawyer, and you could, you ever heard of injury lawyers, right? You know how they work, right?
Yeah.
Where essentially you go to them and you say, hey, I have an injury. You show them the evidence. And if they believe they have a case, you don't even have to pay them anything. What they do is they just take a portion of the restitution that is collected afterwards. Well, you could just do that the same way with some sort of violence claim. Somebody violates your rights. You go to a lawyer. You'd be like, hey, I have the evidence of this rights violation being done. They'll be like, oh, well, you have a case here. We're going to represent you, and we'll just take a portion of the restitution afterwards. And in the same way that it works with injury law firms, it could work with injuries and torts and things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more like a lot of people assume that AnCap is not really is pretty crazy or it's not as well thought out, but a lot of people have really thought through this. A lot of AnCap guys have really thought through this, and I've been doing a lot of reading on it. So,
out of curiosity, how would social benefits work under a society?
Mutual aid societies can take up that. Lodge societies. The main reason why we're against welfare is because it's a state-run industry and taxation is theft. But we're not against the idea of helping people. We just think it should be done privately, because private businesses don't.
How would it work privately in that scenario?
Mutual aid societies, basically what they did is they had most of the people who were in there, they sort of paid into a pool of money, and those people who, on the rare occasion, if anyone were to go broke, or say a wife were to become widowed or something like that, they would pull from the money that the community sort of puts into to sort of help that person out. And it's generally like community based. Sometimes it's race based. Like they have like black what you call them, covenant communities and things like that. Religious covenant communities. Things like that. And those things actually helped out a lot of people before the welfare state actually kind of crowded it out. And the lodge societies made healthcare extremely cheap. For like $1 For a dollar a day's wage there could give you like a whole year's worth of healthcare at that time because of how cheap it was because of the free market.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have all of these different private companies, how would it function in terms of like total money, like available to each individual one?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, if everything is privatized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming anyone is allowed to create one of these quote unquote insurance companies, wouldn't all of them have like an infinitely smaller budget than the total US government tax budget?
Well, of
to
course.
delineate?
Well, of course, but they won't.
So then how would it function if everyone's insurance isn't nearly as big as it would be like in modern sense?
Because having big monopolies over large groups of individuals is not as efficient as having multiple competing private businesses. And it's just better for society. And the reason why that is because of the state has to deal with the economic calculation problem, which is that the state can't allocate scarce resources to its most value productive route because they don't have private property in the means of production. And without private property in the means of production, you don't have prices. Without prices, you can't properly allocate scarce resources because you don't know what's valuable and what's not. And with the private market, you do have prices. Prices sort of allow you to make decisions and to know what people actually want at what price and what valuation. Without those prices, you're kind of just a person at the top making decisions based on what you think is best for other people. And that's the reason why. Oh, and then there's what we call diseconomies of scale. There's economies of scale that, like, after you when you expand a company and make things bigger, even though that you're selling at a lower price, because you're selling so much product and people are buying so much of it, you end up making more money in the long run. But the issue is that only pushes past a certain point. That only lasts so long before you hit diseconomies of scale. Diseconomies of scale is after a certain point of growing, you eventually become less efficient than you would be otherwise. But the thing is, a lot of private businesses and monopolies are able to push past that diseconomy of scale by taking out their competition through force. And that's why the state is in its position, because they could use force to stop other people from competing with them.
I see. My phone is about to die, but thank you so much. This is really interesting.
You'll see me if you want to listen to this. You could check me out on my YouTube. You were on my YouTube channel this whole time, so if you want to check it out, you could listen to yourself.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. It was nice talking to you. He seemed pretty nice.
Pretty decent conversation.
Yeah. I think I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, you are. I've seen improvement for sure.
Where do I buy arrows? Fuck, I think I gotta go back. No, I'm pretty sure I go over here. Huh?
What's this room about?
Oh, hello, Islamway. I am KingSithis, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian. This room is Talk to AnCaps, where you could just talk to an anarcho-capitalist. Like
okay,
me.
so isn't it like most of people?
Huh?
Isn't it like majority of people capitalists? This is basically everyone.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people say they're capitalists, but they're really mixed marketers, or it's just essentially they believe in the state controlling parts of the economy, which we're against.
You're against any kind of like extreme, like you're like maximum free market against any kind of control, like at all.
Yes.
That's interesting. So you would be against state protecting their industries through tariffs.
Yeah, we're against that.
Well, how's state supposed to protect the industries? Domestic industries.
Well, they compete in the free market.
And the state will collapse if they lose in the free market.
No, what they'll do is they'll disinvest from the thing that is not making money, and they'll reinvest into goods and services that will make money. If you force businesses that are not really good at making money to make more money, well, what you're doing is you're making everybody worse off in order to help a few businesses.
Right, true, but my question
You make things
was
more
really about-
expensive.
But my question was really about strategic industries, which are crucial for a country to have. They absolutely cannot allow those industries to go down.
It would if it's. I mean, the only reason why it would be essential is if you have a monopoly on force in that area. I mean, if you want more, if you want a more of an essential thing, what you need is competition. If you have competition, then you can have more of that thing.
Oh, so okay, that's where the anarcho part comes in. Like you're against actual governments too.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I was actually tempted to interject with the fact that, hey, remember notice the anarcho part of anarcho-capitalism? Sithis doesn't think there should be a state in the first place.
Hell no.
Yeah, I completely missed. I don't know how I missed that part. That's a pretty scary place when you don't have a centralized government. I mean, I don't know why and how can you would you advocate for something like this?
Well, because I think that governments themselves are really scary. They commit a lot of crimes and violate people's rights. They're warlords.
That is why you want to support the good guy. And
There are no good guys in government. They're all bad.
What would you say? You are a good guy.
I think so.
Right, so, would you want to enforce free market?
You don't need a government to enforce a free market. You can do it through private means.
A bunch of socialists will come and take over the whole thing.
Not if you have guns.
Yeah, but the thing is, the anarchists, they are essentially disorganized. There's no funding, or like I said, they go after, like there's no strategic funding.
Well, the state may not have funding, but private business will have funding by giving services that people want.
Right, but there's going to be no funding, strategic security funding, you know.
People will, people could sell that as a service. Protection as a service.
I mean, against this, but it does kind of doesn't seem like it's something complete. It's not compelling. I mean, I just don't know how to argue against this, but you're saying, well, they can sell it as a service. Like you're making a statement, which is, I mean,
You know, protect like a protection agency. You know.
Yeah, but this is not good enough. Like when we talk nation scale.
We need to get rid of nations.
Well, the nations are the strongest entity. So if you're gonna have different people driven by their own interests, like different tribes, right? They're gonna be very weak. In the end, the state, an empire will come, and it will just take over bit by bit.
We'll use guerrilla warfare and decentralized what you call malicious.
Yeah, you see, yeah.
And
all
private
those
nukes.
Statements, I mean, yeah, all those statements, they have the right, like, they, they seem like it's just I don't know how to argue against statements like, for example, you say, oh, you can just sell security, or you can just do guerrilla warfare. Okay, it's just I don't really know how to argue, but I have to. but I'm just saying. These are intuitively not compelling. Very, very risky. I don't think. Yeah, like. You don't think it's risky? What you
I think governments are pretty risky.
No, not really. I mean, what do you mean?
They kill people all the time.
Yes. Democracies are very risky, not a good place, right? Democracy, because anyone can come to power. There's like, it's really not good, right? But if it's an authoritarian country and you have a good guy in charge, then it's good. That's the best system.
Big if there.
If.
Not if. I think that's kind of going to be the like the order, that a good guy will always be in authoritarian countries the head, because that is how you can get enough support, through being like a virtuous person. Like in democracy, that's not the case. Anyone can convince people, like angry people, or like you can always convince a bunch of people.
Yeah, but just because
by...
one might be better than the other doesn't mean that one is good either.
I also wouldn't concede this better than another as well, because like, first of all, the authoritarian person, if his whole argument is people can be convinced so easily, wouldn't an authoritarian government, given all the propaganda they can use, have a much easier time of convincing people to follow them and trust them, blah blah blah, even though they aren't virtuous, than in like a democracy where there's like, people like their opponents can criticize them, point out their flaws.
But that's the thing. In democracy, every vote counts equally.
Yep.
You can easily convince a bunch of, and an average person would be ignorant and easy to convince. However, in authoritarianism, all votes are not equal. So if you have an average person, like he doesn't represent much. But if you have efficient, productive people, you're not gonna easily convince them. So you would actually have to show trustworthiness.
I hear someone's Android.
To gain the support. So that's why I'm saying, in authoritarian case, it's always
authoritarianism is evil.
Yeah. Also, like when it comes to efficient and productive people, obviously an authoritarian people does need a certain degree of support from often the public and some like people who actually do the physical enforcement. But they need less than you do. And if you say average people are stupid, then yeah, an authoritarian person who's like crappy can, through corrupt means, get a bunch of dumb average people to support their corrupt regime, and they can, as a result, deter things. And if people who are more productive and efficient try to resist or what have you, or refuse to do what they're supposed to do, the authoritarian leader can have them killed or imprisoned. So I think that your whole argument for why democracy is worse than authoritarianism is actually self-contradictory, and that by your own, but based on the argument you're using, you should actually conclude the opposite. Granted, there are other arguments you could make as to like why you think, like say a monarchy is better than democracies, but the specific version of the argument you're making is not only like bad theoretically, it's also contradicted by history. There's been plenty of terrible authoritarian leaders who've done terrible things. So yeah, I just don't. I don't buy that at all.
I mean, I don't know about that, because well, the idea is that a person who is not does not have virtue, is not virtuous, is not what's the word? Anyway, so if he's not good enough, he will never be able to come to this position where he can do all of the things that you said, convince a whole bunch of people and enforce people and put people to prison. He will never come to this position. If you have the initial anarchy, the natural flow is going to be, you're going to have necessarily someone who is the most productive, most efficient, and people are going to support him because of this. And the most virtuous is gonna come to power as an order of things. And
yeah, but I don't think I don't think that bears out in history. Like, I feel like a lot of authoritarians have done a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah,
man.
but that's the thing. I don't think people know what is happening even today, right? Let alone what's happening. Like, so for example,
unless you're gonna say all these authoritarians,
saying,
we just got it wrong.
For example, they're saying Russia is aggressor. They're saying Iran doing this and that. And if they win,
I figured you would go that route.
If the West wins, right? That's what you're gonna see in the history books. However, if they lose, then a whole bunch of things are gonna be exposed. And so, if it's uncertain what is happening today, how can you possibly know like what was happening? Like, oh, this dictator did this and that.
It's probabilistic, but like we can also do. That's part of why I use theoretical argumentation here in order to refute the theory on its own ground, because I do regard it a priori reason as important, as valid.
Anyways, guys,
so
I gotta head out. I'm getting pretty tired.
We can just go with KingSithis.
Have a good night, everyone.